Hey guys, and welcome to this week's installment of Tuesdays with Lauri. My name is Lauri Laukkanen and I'm one of the editors at SLR Lounge. You can also find me on Facebook at Lauri Laukkanen Photography. Today we're going to be continuing our series on compositing an image in Photoshop. We're going to be cutting out our model from this white backdrop and placing her on another backdrop. In the upcoming weeks we're going to continue and we're going to add some crows into the image. We're going to work on colors, making sure that the different elements blend in together perfectly. We're going to add some vignettes, we're going to do some blurs, add noise, really do a lot of stuff, but today we're going to concentrate on cutting out a person from a backdrop. And actually it's pretty simple. How I do it, I use the quick selection tool, which you can find from here, and start out by making a very rough selection around our subject. I'm gonna do like this. When you see that it like we want to get this hand selected, so what I do, I'm gonna click down on Alt or push down the Alt key, and that way I get to claim back this selection here. This finger is pretty small, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just resize the selection tool a bit, push down the Alt key, and that way we get the finger back. I'm not that worried about getting all the stray hairs. We're gonna get them back soon when we make this selection a bit better. So this is more a rough selection that we make around our subject. See when it loads, and we get this part here, and now I'm gonna push the Alt key down as soon as it loads. Yep, and we're gonna get this back. Good. So now we have a very rough selection around our subject, but this is more than enough for us. We're gonna click on select and invert the selection. So now instead of having in the white areas, we have our model selected, and click on refine edge. I'm gonna actually I have the smart radius clicked here, but I'm gonna click it away just so you guys see what it does. So let's let it load now first. Good. I'm gonna take the smart radius away. The computer is slightly slow now because I'm recording this tutorial, so we'll see how it goes. But now this is the selection that we made. I have the setting here so that we see the selection on white, so that way we see all the stray hairs that we've missed. So like we remember, we had some stray hair here and we would like to get it back and make sure that we get all the details from around here as well. So what we can do is we can click on the smart radius button, and it automatically starts looking for stuff that it might have missed. And here we can see, for example, that by mistake it took some of the backdrop to the selection. So what we can do is we can use this brush here. I'm gonna resize it a bit, and now just paint over these areas where we see something extra, and kind of let Photoshop do the automatic selections here. So what I'm doing here, I'm kind of adding or decreasing the radius for the selections, and Photoshop automatically is looking for edges, and that way modifying our selection. We have some gray background around here, so we're gonna try to get rid of it. See if Photoshop can do it. Yeah, it did it. We've got some gray between these holes here, so let's see. Yeah, Photoshop is pretty good at this, so just do a few tests. I'm gonna actually draw some extra radius here because we lost some stray hair. So I'm gonna draw some of it back like this. Now let's see how Photoshop did it pretty well. Now we have the hair but not the background, so that's good. I'm pretty happy with this selection. We don't need a better selection than this. So what we can do is we can just create a new layer with a layer mask and click OK. we'll let it load just a bit, and then now we have also selected this black area up here. So what we're gonna do next is I'm gonna layer mask it out just as soon as the refine edge is done. So now I'm gonna just take a black brush, 100% opacity, and just gonna mask out this black area on top. We will probably not even see it, but it's good to mask it out. Just be careful not to mask out the headpiece. Like I actually probably did a bit, but because I know I'm going to be cutting the image or cropping the image so that you won't see that this part here is pretty much okay, so I'm gonna just leave it like that, but be careful when masking that stuff out. So we're gonna take this now and place our model on a separate background. So here what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna duplicate it and put the duplicate on another file where I have the background. So let's go here, and here we can see our model on the new background. I'm gonna resize her, make her fit the image better, maybe resize just a bit more. That's pretty good. I think that's good. Yeah, so I just resize her, click OK, and for this image actually what I still did was I transformed and flipped her horizontally just because it worked better with the composition that I was going for. Click OK here, and now I'm gonna place her somewhere around here when the sun, where the sun is shining between the trees, because as you can see we have a slight glow around her, and instead of masking that stuff out, what I can do is I'll just place her somewhere where the light source is, like here, and then what I do is I'm going to create a new layer between the background and her, take the gradient tool with a nice white color from here and choose this round gradient and just create a fake flare around her. So now I'm kind of trying to make it look like the sun is shining from behind, something like this. That way the glow kind of disappears and she blends in with the background better. It works with these sort of, at least more of a fantasy type images. So just I'll show you the before and after. So the gradient on and off, that looks pretty good, and it works because we have the sun really making these flares around her anyway. As you can see, I have some sharp edges here, so that's just I did a bad job masking this out. So I'm gonna make sure that we don't have any remains from around her like this. Good. So this way now we cut out our model from the background and placed her on a new background and added a gradient behind her to make sure that she blends in perfectly. I think that's enough for this week's episode. We're gonna continue next week. We're gonna add some crows into this image. We're gonna retouch her skin a bit. We're gonna play with the colors, make sure that all the elements that we place in this image blend in together perfectly. We're gonna add some vignettes, we're gonna add blurs, we're gonna do a lot of stuff. So with that said, stay tuned, and thanks for watching this episode. If you have any questions or requests for future episodes, just leave a comment down below and I'll do my best to help you all out. With that said, see you again next Tuesday. Bye bye.